Imagine winning battles yet losing everything. Victory sometimes hides devastating future consequences. History remembers remarkable strategic mistakes forever. One decision changed global history completely. Adolf Hitler commanded Europe's strongest military. His armies advanced with astonishing, unstoppable speed. Nation after nation quickly surrendered helplessly. Germany appeared completely impossible defeating then. Europe trembled beneath relentless military expansion. Powerful armored divisions overwhelmed determined defenders. Blitzkrieg shocked experienced military commanders everywhere. Confidence grew inside German leadership rapidly. Success encouraged increasingly dangerous, ambitious plans. Every victory strengthened overwhelming self-belief further. Advisors celebrated astonishing battlefield achievements enthusiastically. Crowds praised military triumphs across Germany. Yet confidence slowly transformed into overconfidence. History often punishes dangerous arrogance severely. Powerful empires sometimes ignore hidden warnings. Small mistakes gradually become catastrophic disasters. Hitler dreamed beyond European domination alone. He wanted unimaginable territorial expansion eastward. Soviet lands promised enormous valuable resources. Oil, grain, minerals, endless opportunities awaited. Germany believed ultimate victory inevitable already. Military planners prepared unprecedented massive invasion carefully. Millions of soldiers gathered quietly together. Thousands of tanks awaited advancing orders. Aircraft filled crowded military airfields constantly. Supply lines stretched across occupied territories. The operation received historic secret preparations. Everything depended upon surprising, overwhelming force. The codename became Operation Barbarossa officially. Dawn approached with frightening historical significance. Europe unknowingly awaited another devastating chapter. Silence covered eastern borders briefly. Then everything suddenly exploded violently everywhere. German forces crossed Soviet frontiers simultaneously. Thousands of artillery guns thundered relentlessly. Aircraft dominated skies without resistance initially. Soviet defenses collapsed astonishingly fast early. Entire divisions became surrounded unexpectedly quickly. Cities fell beneath relentless advancing armies. Prisoners numbered unimaginable, staggering millions eventually. Germany celebrated seemingly certain coming victory. Hitler believed success already guaranteed completely. Yet appearances often deceive ambitious leaders. Reality quietly prepared unexpected, brutal surprises. The greatest challenge remained untouched still. Nature patiently waited beyond human control. Distance itself became dangerous, powerful enemy. Time slowly favored determined defenders instead. Every kilometer increased enormous logistical burdens. Every advance complicated precious supply deliveries. Confidence overshadowed careful strategic caution completely. The campaign continued deeper into Russia. Winter remained distant, forgotten concern temporarily. Optimism blinded crucial military judgment gradually. The battlefield concealed deadly future realities. History quietly approached decisive turning point. One mistake would change everything forever. The consequences became unimaginably devastating afterward. Power alone guaranteed absolutely nothing there. The true battle barely started. Winter patiently awaited its moment. German armies advanced astonishing distances every day. Soviet forces retreated while resisting fiercely. Burned villages marked endless advancing front lines. Roads filled abandoned military equipment everywhere. Hitler expected rapid Soviet collapse completely. Reality unfolded far more differently instead. Soviet commanders refused complete surrender entirely. Fresh divisions continuously reinforced defensive positions. Factories relocated beyond distant Ural mountains. Production resumed despite relentless enemy attacks. Tanks rolled from newly established factories. Weapons reached determined frontline defenders quickly. Soviet industry survived extraordinary, impossible challenges. German intelligence underestimated Soviet industrial capacity. Every passing week favored Soviet resilience. German supply lines stretched dangerously longer. Fuel shortages slowed armored spearheads significantly. Spare parts became increasingly difficult finding. Trucks frequently broke under harsh conditions. Horses carried essential military supplies instead. Endless muddy roads trapped heavy vehicles. Autumn rains transformed landscapes into swamps. Soldiers struggled crossing impossible terrain daily. Every kilometer demanded greater exhausting effort. Momentum gradually disappeared beneath logistical failures. Moscow remained frustratingly beyond immediate reach. Soviet resistance strengthened around strategic positions. Civilians joined desperate defensive preparations together. Trenches surrounded the threatened capital rapidly. Determination replaced fear among defenders gradually. Winter quietly approached without mercy patiently. Temperatures dropped beyond expected dangerous levels. Thin uniforms offered little meaningful protection. Freezing winds punished exhausted advancing soldiers. Weapons malfunctioned inside brutal icy conditions. Engines refused starting every bitter morning. Frostbite spread across vulnerable military units. Countless soldiers suffered unbearable freezing injuries. Supplies arrived increasingly slower every week. Hunger weakened already exhausted fighting forces. Morale declined beneath relentless suffering steadily. Soviet troops adapted better surviving conditions. Fresh winter equipment improved battlefield effectiveness. Counterattacks surprised exhausted German formations suddenly. Confidence transformed into growing desperate anxiety. Retreat became unavoidable certain reality eventually. Hitler refused strategic withdrawal repeatedly. His orders demanded impossible stubborn resistance. Commanders faced heartbreaking impossible dilemmas daily. Obedience often meant catastrophic battlefield losses. Flexibility disappeared beneath rigid leadership completely. Opportunities vanished through delayed critical decisions. Nature defeated technological military superiority unexpectedly. Time became Germany's greatest dangerous enemy. Every frozen sunrise brought fresh hardship. Every snowy night tested human endurance. Victory slowly slipped beyond determined grasp. Reality crushed unrealistic, ambitious expectations harshly. The invasion stalled before ultimate success. Germany faced devastating strategic consequences ahead. Hope remained despite mounting impossible odds. Yet history had already shifted permanently. One campaign changed everything forever afterward. The worst remained, still coming. Stalingrad waited beyond frozen horizons. Stalingrad became history's brutal turning point. Hitler demanded complete victory without compromise. Retreat remained absolutely forbidden under orders. German soldiers fought street by street. Every building became deadly battlefield territory. Every staircase concealed sudden dangerous ambushes. Rubble replaced once thriving neighborhoods completely. Smoke darkened endless winter skies constantly. Civilians suffered unimaginable wartime hardships daily. Soviet defenders refused surrender despite devastation. Snipers waited silently among shattered ruins. Close combat exhausted both opposing armies. Every meter required terrible, painful sacrifice. Every victory cost countless precious lives. German supplies rapidly became critically insufficient. Ammunition dwindled beneath relentless fighting pressures. Food shortages weakened exhausted frontline troops. Medical resources disappeared almost completely everywhere. Freezing temperatures intensified unbearable suffering constantly. Soldiers endured impossible survival conditions together. Soviet forces launched massive counteroffensive operations. German Sixth Army became completely surrounded. Escape routes vanished beneath enemy control. Reinforcements never arrived successfully there. Air supplies proved tragically insufficient always. Thousands waited hopelessly for rescue daily. Hitler still rejected strategic withdrawal firmly. His determination ignored battlefield realities completely. Experienced generals urged immediate retreat repeatedly. Their warnings remained completely ignored instead. Starvation spread through trapped military units. Frostbite claimed countless exhausted survivors relentlessly. Morale collapsed beneath endless, hopeless circumstances. Hope slowly disappeared with every sunrise. Finally, surrender became unavoidable, inevitable reality. Stalingrad ended catastrophic German ambitions decisively. The world witnessed astonishing military defeat. German momentum never fully recovered afterward. Soviet confidence grew stronger every month. Allied nations gained renewed strategic optimism. Hitler's gamble had completely failed now. One decision reshaped global wartime history. Resources became increasingly impossible, replacing quickly. Experienced soldiers disappeared forever there. Germany fought exhausting wars simultaneously afterward. Multiple fronts drained remaining military strength. Factories struggled, meeting endless battlefield demands. Fuel supplies steadily approached dangerous exhaustion. Allied bombing intensified industrial destruction dramatically. Strategic balance shifted against Germany permanently. Victory transformed into desperate survival instead. Confidence became dangerous, stubborn denial ultimately. History punished reckless overexpansion severely indeed. Ambition exceeded practical military capabilities greatly. Every mistake multiplied future consequences exponentially. Every delay strengthened determined opponents significantly. The Eastern Front consumed everything relentlessly. Millions suffered unimaginable devastating wartime tragedies. Europe descended deeper into destruction continuously. The war entered irreversible dangerous phase. Hitler still refused accepting reality completely. His choices became increasingly disastrous afterward. Defeat slowly became unavoidable historical certainty. The end approached relentlessly now. History never forgot Stalingrad. After Stalingrad, Germany steadily lost momentum. Soviet armies advanced with growing confidence. Massive offensives reclaimed occupied territories gradually. German forces retreated across countless battlefields. Every retreat demanded painful strategic sacrifices. Every defeat weakened national morale further. Allied forces increased relentless military pressure. Britain continued devastating strategic bombing campaigns. American industry supplied overwhelming military resources. Soviet factories produced endless armored vehicles. Germany struggled replacing enormous battlefield losses. Fuel shortages crippled armored divisions severely. Aircraft remained grounded without sufficient supplies. Experienced pilots became increasingly irreplaceable assets. Young recruits lacked valuable combat experience. Training quality declined under desperate circumstances. Hitler ignored realistic military recommendations repeatedly. Loyal generals became increasingly frustrated privately. Several officers questioned leadership decisions silently. Some secretly planned removing Hitler permanently. Fear controlled Germany's highest command structure. Honest criticism became extremely dangerous quickly. Strategic flexibility completely disappeared from leadership. Ideology replaced practical military judgment often. Battlefield realities received little serious attention. Time relentlessly favored determined Allied forces. Every month strengthened enemy industrial production. Every battle exhausted Germany even further. The Eastern Front consumed endless resources. Western Europe prepared another major invasion. Allied commanders coordinated massive military operations. D-Day changed European history dramatically forever. Thousands landed upon Normandy's dangerous beaches. German defenses gradually collapsed under pressure. Two powerful fronts squeezed Germany relentlessly. Escape from defeat became increasingly impossible. Cities suffered devastating aerial bombardments repeatedly. Civilians endured unimaginable daily hardships together. Infrastructure crumbled beneath continuous, relentless attacks. Railways stopped functioning efficiently anymore. Communication networks suffered constant destruction everywhere. Supply systems completely broke under pressure. Germany's military machine slowly unraveled entirely. Victory became impossible despite determined resistance. Hitler still believed miraculous reversal possible. Reality offered no such miracle ever. Strategic mistakes carried irreversible consequences now. Ambition exceeded available national capabilities greatly. Overconfidence blinded responsible decision-making completely. History repeated timeless, painful lessons again. Powerful leaders remain vulnerable to arrogance. Pride often destroys remarkable achievements eventually. Wisdom requires accepting uncomfortable truths early. Flexibility strengthens successful long-term leadership greatly. Refusing reality invites devastating, catastrophic outcomes. The war approached inevitable conclusions steadily. Germany faced overwhelming defeat from every direction. Hope faded beneath relentless historical momentum. Millions awaited peace after unimaginable suffering. The final chapter approached rapidly now. Berlin soon became ultimate battlefield. History prepared its closing pages carefully. One regime neared complete collapse. The ending became unavoidable finally. Everything returned to Berlin. Berlin stood surrounded from every direction. Soviet forces closed relentless tightening circles. Allied armies advanced across Western Germany. Escape became impossible for remaining defenders. Buildings collapsed beneath constant artillery bombardment. Streets transformed into desperate final battlefields. Civilians sought shelter beneath shattered ruins. Fear filled every underground bunker silently. Hitler remained inside fortified headquarters underground. Reports grew increasingly hopeless every hour. Trusted commanders admitted unavoidable military defeat. Yet unrealistic orders continued emerging daily. Entire divisions existed only on paper. Reality crushed every remaining illusion completely. Germany's once mighty empire collapsed rapidly. Years of conquest ended in destruction. Millions paid unimaginable human costs forever. Cities became mountains of broken concrete. Families mourned countless, irreplaceable loved ones. Europe carried deep emotional scars afterward. Hitler died before war officially ended. Germany surrendered unconditionally shortly afterward. The Second World War concluded eventually. Peace slowly replaced devastating global conflict. Reconstruction demanded extraordinary human determination together. Nations rebuilt shattered communities patiently afterward. Survivors carried unforgettable, painful memories forever. History preserved every difficult lesson carefully. Scholars studied catastrophic strategic failures extensively. Military academies analyzed Operation Barbarossa continually. Leadership decisions shaped unimaginable future consequences. One mistake changed countless human destinies. Overconfidence proved dangerously destructive repeatedly. Logistics mattered beyond battlefield victories alone. Distance defeated even powerful invading armies. Winter punished unrealistic military expectations harshly. Resources determined wars as profoundly. Adaptation remained essential during prolonged conflicts. Ignoring reality invited inevitable catastrophic defeat. History repeatedly warns ambitious leaders everywhere. Power never guarantees permanent success alone. Wisdom requires listening before deciding carefully. Pride blinds even brilliant strategists sometimes. Humility strengthens lasting responsible leadership greatly. Every decision creates lasting historical ripples. Every conflict carries enormous human suffering. Peace remains humanity's greatest lasting achievement. War leaves wounds across generations permanently. Remember lessons before repeating tragic mistakes. Honor every innocent life forever. Study history with honesty and balance. Question decisions driven by unchecked ambition. Value diplomacy before choosing armed conflict. Protect humanity through thoughtful, responsible leadership. The past still teaches everyone today. Listen carefully to forgotten voices always. Great civilizations learn from painful failures. Strong nations require wisdom alongside strength. History belongs to every generation equally. Never underestimate consequences of arrogance again. One decision changed the modern world. One mistake destroyed impossible ambitions forever. History remembers choices beyond battlefield victories. Learn before repeating history again. That remains history's enduring warning.